This picture here is with an article um, talking about test prep, cost land money for test prep, and it said that school tests are vital stepping stones, and uh, and so forth. And these folks are trying to get into good schools, so they have to score high in that SAT um, and so forth. And I can't afford really to do these tests, and I've done the LSAT, the law school admissions test, a couple of times. First time I did it, I got about 40, 140. And I did it over and I got like 133 and 130 or something like that. But I don't score high on it. And it has nothing to do with what you've learned in school. That's the tragedy. So people and races that have been playing certain games, because people are telling me these tests are skewed towards white folks because white is a culture and there are a lot of things they do that other races don't do. And they are able to capture that and put it in a test so that they score real good. That's why places like Harvard and Yale, you find the majority of them are whites and the majority of attorneys and high level um, jobs are whites because the tests are calibrated for them. And again, it goes with you don't have to know nothing in school. It's just play games in school and then pass this test and you get anywhere. And if you go to Yale or Harvard, that you tell the judge and everybody else that I'm from Harvard or from Yale, you win the case already. It seems. I'm trying to understand what's the difference. I guess many of the professors are innovators and inventors and Nobel Prize winners and so on. I suspect because the same textbook, and I think if I apply myself, I should be able to do, similar work. Except that society will not give you the opportunities or the prestige and the recognition that you might get from those schools. However, um, I do think that we need to recalibrate these tests. Um, make it be relevant to what you study in school. LSAT should be what you've done in school up to that point. You write an essay, but you see the deal is that nobody wants to mark any essay. So to make work easy for them, they standardize it so that they just feed it in a machine and it scores and everything is good. But while they're making money, easy money, the society and the students are being um, handicapped, as it were, because I should be able to write a composition or have to respond in writing, and that is going to make a big difference. Of course, today where students are writing as if they're computers, and this kind of like A, B, C as opposed to join, they're going to be kept back. Um, so I think the Department of Education needs to either keep giving these testing organizations the money they used to make and or phase them out and let us have tests that are real, meaningful tests that you've studied. And so if I don't pass that test, you could say I'm stupid. But some people when they hear a score low on the outside, they say you're kind of dumb or something, and they don't understand. I don't understand that kind of testing. For example, one question I say, um, this is not a real situation, but just imagine this. I mean, right away I lost right there because I'm a practical guy, and while I'm visual, I'm also practical, and I like to do things that I could feel and concentrate on and so on, as opposed to this fictitious stuff. And some writing from somebody, you just read it now, and you have to answer some questions that then based on it's just, man, this thing is a mess. But I'd like to write an exam that everybody else writes. And it's dealing with the day Columbus arrived here, what he did. We all study that, and therefore we test on it. And those who pass it, I think that's the way it should go. And so that you won't have Mickey Mouse and clowns getting up state in these schools. And because I'd like to track especially in the gifted program in Florida, I'd like to track some of those guys that they had singled out as gifted. You need 100 gifted students, and they can get some guys and call them gifted and give them a training, and they're going to be doing that gifted. But it's after they leave school, what they're really doing. I'm sure many of them start smoking and doing drugs and all that stuff, and you want to know if you didn't waste your time on this gifted program. Whereas there are some students in the schools who did not, were not chosen for whatever reason, that would have made a difference. They would have gone to these Ivy League schools, continue researching, maybe come to something that is a breakthrough or something. And especially they don't allow like blacks to be in these gifted programs. You never hear in Florida some black is gifted and he invented something. It don't happen. In fact, when a black student demonstrates sort of high intelligence, they pass the word on to somebody. The police gets it, and the police can be right in behind you to lock you up and bust you and put you in jail and put you on some drugs while you're in jail. And then when you come out, you're going using more of it, or they're gonna get somebody to come and start being your friend and introduce you to drugs or liquor or whatever, and just destroy you. That's how it is in Florida. So we need reform, education reform badly, and with also educational reform, so that every year we need to be doing tests to go to the next class. If you don't pass it, sorry, you didn't pass it. And well, at university over there, can say, man, we can take these people and we have remedial stuff and whatever. And then, then remedial nothing, because these guys were the ones to go and pick corn and pick cotton. Okay. So we do those tests, and then when finally before we finish high school, now they're going to write a composition, or they'll be writing compositions all along, and we will see the things that they learned in the first year of school being applied. Things like there were 2 boys and there were 3 girls and there were 5 people in the place. You know what I mean? They could come really, and they won't tell you about a egg. They'll tell you an egg because they know the vowels usually have an before and the consonants a and so on. You see that and you know whether they really did well in the other grades. And to get into Ivy League school, what may be the criteria? I guess the LSAT is which they're going to use to say, well, see, these guys qualified to come here. But if we have a rigorous program and a rigorous national testing, which you have to write and it's based on what you study in the school, still we should be able to have people that could be seen or perform on that level that is alleged that happens at Yale or Harvard. So, by the way, and also with that, we need to start encouraging students to leave evil alone. If the parents want to introduce them to Halloween, we should work on it that, listen, this is just about stupid stuff. And forget the candy. We could have another occasion where you could do candies, maybe in schools. Let us have a happy birthday party for somebody and let us do candies. Let us go around trick-or-treating, which is voodoo, number 1. And then they go on to try Wicca and Ouija board and astrology and all the magic and all these various evils. I mean, the nation should make a stand on this, because when students get involved in evil, starting with Halloween, they're done. It's just a matter of time before they're destroyed. They're going to do drugs. They end up as prostitutes in the street. They end up robbing the bank. They end up pushing drugs. Rarely, we say, this one he went to Harvard. I know, look, he's a good judge or whatever. They have judges who smoke all the jobs. Some of them in LA were homeless, living in a homeless shelter. So, unless when you die, then you could say, oh man, this guy was saved by all this stuff. But, here's this guy, he went and studied medicine, and, he's in this evil practice stuff, but, he stick with the program. Parents encourage him to give him incentives, and he get a doctorate in medicine and practice it. And the boy said, hey man, this weekend, boy, we had a nice party over by Palm. Man, I tell you, that girl's like crazy, man. He said, man, y'all never invite me. I said, well, you look weird, man, so you know if you'd like that. He said, let me try it, man. You're going over there. And you see a whole bunch of place smoking. Before you turn back, you say, oh, this is good. And you inhaling that marijuana that gets on, smoke this and smoke the crap and everything. I said, you know what? He take that as a lifestyle, as a new career. And he starts doing it, till he starts missing a job, writing wrong prescription, and showing up with appointments, and so on and so forth. So they just fire him. Then he smoke up his savings, he smoke his car, he smoke his family, he's smoking up his parents' TV and all that stuff. And then all that feeling, he end up on his skid row, and die in some bush shed in the winter. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. You do these evil things, you will be destroyed. Or you might run for president and end up looking stupid, because talking crazy and figuring like hokey, magic thing, win. It's like people looking to see if you really kind of got character and if you have honesty and whether you could sort of express yourself and defend them, you see what I'm saying, in international fora and so forth. So I would like to see education reform in which these focus exams, like LSAT and SAT and GMAT and all this garbage, we get rid of that and have a true, valid, and reliable way that is based on what you've studied in school. And if you want to be a teacher, you must have a degree in whatever you're teaching, so that you did well in high school, you passed, you had a successful career in high school. Maybe you passed like 8 subjects, you did well in those, and you go and study one of those areas, biology, math, and chemistry. You study that, you get a bachelor's degree, then you teach science in school. You don't just say, "Oh, look the book over here, try and see if you could help the students," and it's their problem anyway. You're just here to assist them. You know what I mean? So we need some serious education reform and some advice to these young people to leave evil alone. That's the only way we can have true intellectuals in America.